All right, so we're going to do a quick warm-up just because we're trying to get back in the swing of things with radicals. Square root of 81, that's simple. That's perfect square. That's just simply 9. Now, 540, we're going to use our strip on our desk. We're doing this in class. And basically, again, you're just taking 540, you're dividing numbers. And you're going to find out that it's 9, which is our perfect square we put first, and 60. Remember, this is going to be 5 times 3 times the square root of 60. So that ends up being 15 times the square root of 60. Again, no decimal answers. All right? Right here, whoops. Right here we have a perfect square. Okay? So that means we're going to have 100 times 10. This simplifies to 10 root 10. Remember here, we do outside times outside, so that's 10. Inside times inside, that's 24. But then we have to check this number. And yes, 24 has a 4 in it, which is the perfect square. So therefore, we end up with 10 times 2 times the square root of 6. And that simplifies to 20 square root of 6. Sorry, the board has some spots in it. And again here, 5 times 3, but wait, my brain just said, wait a minute, this is simply 6, and this is simply 3. So this is really just 5 times 6 times 3 times 3. So we just type in our calculator, that's, that makes 30, that makes 9, so 30 times 9 is 270, and we have no radicals left. Okay. So that's a review of simplifying and multiplying. Now we are going to talk about division. It is not allowed to have a radical in the denominator of a fraction. So to get rid of it, we multiply by the denominator. Top and bottom. And then simplify. Abbreviate there. So we don't want that radical 5 there. So we're going to put a radical 5 top, radical 5 bottom. Now, we just learned from multiplying, inside times inside, that's radical 30. Now on the bottom, there's 2 ways to go about this. We can say 5 times 5 is 25, but then simplify it. The square root of 25 is simply 5. So that leaves us with radical 30 over 5. Okay? Now, we cannot divide that 5 into the 30 because the 30 is under the radical. That's an inside number, and 5 is an outside number. Okay? So all we have to do is check 30 and see is there any perfect square that goes into it. Okay? And that would be like 25, 16, 9, and 4. And there is not. So we're finished. Okay? Now, on this one, we're going to do radical 2 and radical 2. So that's going to give us radical 16 on the top. And if you want to, you can just go right to 2. Because radical 2 times itself is just 2. The radical goes away. But we're not done yet. Because this is simply 4 over 2. And that just gets us right down to just 2. A few more examples. Radical 3, whoops. Radical 3 over radical 3. Now, again, you could do radical 12 unless you catch it and go, wait a minute, this is just the number 2. So on the top, I have 2 radical 3, and on the bottom, I just have 3. Again, if you need to do radical 9 first, go ahead and do that. But if you see the shortcuts, save yourself some time. Now, you might first go, wait a minute, this is radical 9 over radical 9, and then multiply. But that's a very long way to do it. Okay? Radicals can multiply. Radicals can also divide. So just like 18 over 9 is 2 over 1. Radical 18 over radical 9 is radical 2 over 1. So we can divide this right there into 18 and be done. And we can just simply write it as radical 2. All right, so I'm going to multiply here by radical 2 over radical 2. The h just stays. I get radical 6, 3 times 2. And at the bottom, radical 2 times radical 2 is radical 4, which is just 2. But I need to simplify here my outside numbers. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and there's my radical 6 finished. Again, radical 6 here, radical 6 here. That gives me radical 42 on the top. And simply 2 times 6 on the bottom. Now, radical 42, we got to see, does it break down? Okay? Does anything go into radical 42? So we look at our chart, and we find out, no, it does not break down. There's no perfect square number that goes into 42. Not 4, not 9, 16, or 25. So our answer is simply radical 42 over 12. And that's it.